welcome. You are watching the Newshour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. Today, the German Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesperson remarked on the conviction and disqualification from Lok Sabha of Congress Leader Rahul Gandhi. Now, it's fairly usual for the spokesperson to answer to questions posed. But what is interesting is what followed. Congress leader Digvijay Singh quickly thanked the German Foreign Affairs Ministry for taking note of how democracy is being compromised in India through the persecution of Rahul Gandhi. This naturally set off a firestorm because this exultant thank you comes from a party which so far was stridently denying ever seeking the West's intervention in India's affairs. Remember, the case against Mr. Gandhi, the conviction of Mr. Gandhi, his subsequent disqualification, all of it have been a part of India's legal and legislative processes. The question then is, why would the Congress do this? Why would they be so happy? Why would they thank the West for trying to comment on what happens in India? Is this a subconscious seeking of validation from foreign countries or a more insidious rallying of foreign support against Narendra Modi? How can the Congress still keep claiming that Mr. Gandhi never sought foreign intervention when here senior Congress leaders like Digvijay Singh are clearly welcoming what they perceive as a censure of India at the hands of a Western country?
Wir haben das erstinstanzliche Urteil gegen den indischen Oppositionspolitiker Rahul Gandhi zur Kenntnis genommen, ebenso wie die Suspendierung seines Parlamentsmandats. Nach unserer Kenntnis stehen Herrn Gandhi gegen das Urteil Rechtsmittel offen. Dann wird sich zeigen, ob dieses Urteil Bestand hat und ob die Voraussetzung für die Suspendierung des Mandats überhaupt gegeben ist. Wir erwarten, dass die Standards in Bezug auf die Unabhängigkeit der Justiz und demokratische Grundprinzipien auch für das Verfahren gegen Rahul Gandhi gelten.
Now, also, electorally, hasn't the Congress realized that moves like this, utterances like this, will spell political suicide for it? Consider this. On the one hand, you have a Congress whose former president is asking the West to react, whose senior leaders feel thrilled when the West simply takes note of what's happening in India, and then they go on to almost brand Germany, US, Europe as saviors of Indian democracy. And on the other hand, you have a Prime Minister who is reiterating India's growth globally, who talks of this being India's moment, who hails the West's praise as an achievement of 130 crore Indians. Which one of these two do you think would appeal to the voter's sense of self? Why on earth, then, would the Congress indulge in such political harakiri, or is it simply that they think that the white man knows better than the Indian voter?
मुझे लगता है ये विदेशी लोगों को ज्ञान का अभाव है। उनको एक तो हमारे लोकतंत्र में हस्तक्षेप करने की कोई भी जरूरत नहीं है। हमारा लोकतंत्र अपने आप में मजबूत है। और जिस कांग्रेस के राहुल गांधी के लिए वो बात कर रहे हैं, उनको ध्यान होना चाहिए 13-14 के अंदर 35 लोगों के विधायकों की और 4 सांसदों की इसी प्रकार से सदस्यता गई थी। गांधी परिवार का या उनके स्पेशलारों का कहीं ना कहीं लोकतंत्र से विश्वास हट गया है। इस कारण से जो उन्होंने विदेशों से मदद मांगते हैं, मुझे लगता है कि ये देश विरोधी भावनाएं जो इनकी है, गांधी परिवार के प्रति आस्था है, वो दिखाई देती है।
वो क्या करेंगे, उनको क्या करना है, हम उनको क्यों बताएं? उनका काम है। हमसे वो मदद मांग नहीं सकते। हमसे मांगते तो हम सोचते, लेकिन हमसे वो मांग नहीं सकते, इसलिए कि जो बात कही गई है हम उस बात से सहमत हैं। हम कैसे कह दें कि जिस बात से हम सहमत हैं देश में, उस बात का हम वहां पर विरोध करेंगे? ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, joining us now, political analyst Professor Manojit Mandal, leader of the Congress, Acharya Pramod Krishnam, Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP. My first question is to Lokesh Jindal, leader of the Congress. Mr. Jindal, why would you seek a validation of the West? The German spokesperson literally said, and I quote, "We have taken note of the verdict. Mr. Gandhi is in a position to appeal the verdict." What was the need to be so exultant and say, "Oh wow, now Germany has taken note, now all is well in the world and it is proven that Mr. Gandhi is being persecuted"?
Yes, Padmaja, it's a very sensitive and important issue. Suppose that India is making investments abroad. Now, in order to safeguard its investment, India would be very particular whether the judiciary is independent over there, the nature of political system is conducive to safeguard their investments. What is happening in India is institutions are being compromised. The example of disqualification of Rahul Gandhi is an expression to the world globally that India is right now on the verge of having its institutions compromised. The world is careful by the government, by the political authority.
Who says this is an example of persecution? Who has said
because what is the manner in which the disqualification was done, all over the globe, it is clear that India's judiciary is no more independent.
It is clear across the globe to who?
To all who are watching India.
Says who?
Padmaja, the entire world saw how in 2019 a case that was filed on frivolous ground.
Mr. Jindal, first of all, you realize that what Mr. Digvijay Singh has done, he has completely misread what the German spokesperson said. Here is what she said. She said that Mr. Gandhi is in a position to appeal the verdict. We have taken note of the verdict. Pehli baat to, if you believe so much in what Germans say, why hasn't Mr. Gandhi appealed the verdict? Because the spokesperson then goes on to say that it is after the appeal is made that it will become clear whether this verdict will stand and whether suspension of mandate has any basis. So even that lady is saying that bhai, the suspension has happened, Mr. Gandhi can appeal, we have taken note. Usme you are like, वाह जी जर्मनी ने नोट ले लिया, अब तो बस मजे आ गए. They have literally just said, हाँ, अच्छा ये हुआ है, we have taken note. Great.
Questions are being raised if India is indeed having an independent judiciary and India is indeed having a liberal democracy where there is a meaningful opposition.
Questions are being raised by who?
The questions that are being raised.
By
the questions are being raised by foreign countries.
Which foreign countries?
The very countries with which we enter into bilateral relations.
Which foreign countries have raised questions?
We are having multilateral relations.
All that foreign countries are saying that this has happened, we have taken note.
Wait, Padmaja. Right now we are hosting the presidency of G20 nations. It's a multilateral platform. We have bilateral relations with so many countries. We are laying down the red carpet for their foreign direct investments. But if at all we are having a political system which does not have independent judiciary,
sir,
whereby the opposition
okay, first of all, we are talking about two opposite things. You are saying that Germany is rebuking India. I am saying the opposite. Germany said no such thing. All that they have said is, you have asked me a question. This has happened in India. We have seen it. We have taken note. Mr. Gandhi can go to court. That is all they have said.
They have followed and pursued this entire conviction issue very, very carefully, and the world is watching us.
Okay. World is watching us and they're saying, yes, we are watching. What are you so happy about? But to be fair, Sanju Verma, Jairam Ramesh did say today, as opposed to a very enthusiastic Mr. Digvijay Singh, Jairam Ramesh says, Congress firmly believes India's democratic processes themselves have to deal with the threats posed to our democracy by Mr. Modi's assault on our institutions and his politics of vendetta intimidation. Congress and opposition parties will take him on fearlessly. So Jairam Ramesh has said, we are capable, we are doing it.
Fair enough.
You know, Padmaja, please, Lokesh, I did not heckle you. Please let me have my say.
I didn't know that she has asked
you to answer. Padmaja, let me just say one thing to you. Anybody who has followed the Congress in the last couple of years, ever since Prime Minister Narendra Modi stormed to power in May 2014, there are umpteen instances when the Congress plays the typical good cop, bad cop. Ek taraf Digvijay Singh hai, who says that, you know, democracy has been compromised, and thank you, Foreign Ministry of Germany, for realizing that democracy has been compromised due to persecution of Rahul Gandhi. He uses the word persecution. On the other hand, you have Jairam Ramesh, who completely will turn around and say, "Ye to Digvijay Singh ka, personal statement hai." Digvijay Singh is not an ordinary leader. He's been the General Secretary of the Congress. He's also been the ex-Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh. The second point I want to make is, Lokesh made a very interesting point. The world is watching us. Yes, the world is watching us, and that is precisely the reason I always believe that you have to walk the talk. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. Now, if the world is watching us and if they are threatened by a climate that is not investor friendly, because India is prone to communal violence, India is prone to flagrations which are religious in nature. Why would foreign investors put money in India? And let me tell you one very interesting data. In the 10 years of UPA, from 2004 to 2014, the average foreign direct investment into India never crossed $14 billion per annum. And do you know, as you and me speak, Padmaja, I don't have the latest updated numbers, but I'm giving you the provisional numbers, which are more or less correct. The foreign direct investment in the first 8 years of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's spectacular, government is $523 billion. I'm not even talking of foreign institutional investment. I'm simply talking of FDI, $523 billion, because the biggest names believe that the investment climate is friendly. And Lokesh Jindal, very quickly in 20 seconds. Jab Rishi Sunak, when he praises Prime Minister Modi, when Bob Blackman, he gave an interview to Padmaja Joshi a couple of weeks back, which I was watching. When he praises Prime Minister Modi and says BBC's journalism is a piece of shoddy and disgraceful tainted journalism. When Karan Bilimoria, another UK MP, praises Prime Minister. When the most famous global investor today after Warren Buffett, a man called Ray Dalio, says that India is transforming like never before under Narendra Modi. When the head of McKinsey, Bob Sternfeld, says that the next 100 years belong to India, tab aap kehte ho, oh, McKinsey is not relevant. Rishi Sunak is not relevant. Bob Blackman is not relevant. When IMF's chief, Kristalina Georgieva, said that what Narendra Modi did with his global outreach during COVID is a classic textbook example of crisis management. You said IMF mein to hum vishwas nahi karte.
Sanju,
so basically, you don't believe in IMF. You don't believe in World Bank. But German Foreign Ministry se koi statement aa gaya, you start clapping. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Acharya Pramod Krishna, Acharya Pramod Krishna, would you rather believe when the world praises India and praises in great detail, saying ki bhai, if there is a bright spot on the horizon, it is India. Whether it is about cooperation for vaccines, it is India. Whether it is about Operation Maitri, it is India. When Bill Gates comes and says that the vaccination model of India should be an example for the world, or you have one German who is saying, yes, we are noticing what is happening in India. What is it that you'd rather believe about India?
देखिए, दुनिया के किसी भी देश, किसी भी सरकार से कोई सर्टिफिकेट हमें नहीं चाहिए, और ख़ास तौर से डेमोक्रेसी के बारे में अगर हिटलर के देश वाले बोलेंगे तो उसको हम नहीं पचा पाएंगे। मैं जर्मनी और जर्मनी के फॉरेन अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर के बयान को कतई भाव नहीं देना चाहता, कतई महत्व नहीं देना चाहता। देश के अंदर हमारे लोकतंत्र है तभी तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, वरना तो मैं तो जेल में चला जाता। हम तो नरेंद्र मोदी जी की आलोचना करते हैं, अमित शाह की आलोचना करते हैं, योगी जी की आलोचना करते हैं। अगर देश में लोकतंत्र नहीं होता तो विपक्षी पार्टी के लोग रोज टेलीविजन पर कैसे बोलते? तो देश में लोकतंत्र है, लोकतंत्र मरा नहीं है। लेकिन जहाँ तक सवाल है, लोकतंत्र को खतरा पहुँचाने की कोशिश हो रही है, ये एक अलग बात है। लेकिन लोकतंत्र मर गया है, लोकतंत्र खत्म हो गया, ये मैं इसका समर्थन नहीं करता। और मैं किसी भी विदेशी नेता के अपने देश में किसी भी मामले में हस्तक्षेप का मैं समर्थक नहीं हूँ। अगर हमारे देश में कुछ भी हो रहा है, हम आपस में लड़ेंगे, भिड़ेंगे, एक दूसरे से विरोध करेंगे, एक दूसरे पर आरोप लगाएंगे। कल तक कांग्रेस की सरकारें थीं, आज बीजेपी की सरकार है। हाँ, बीजेपी है, हमारा विरोधी दल है, हम बीजेपी के विरोध में हैं, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी हम किसी विदेश वाले से
दिग्विजय जी इतने खुश क्यों हैं? दिग्विजय जी क्यों थैंक यू कर रहे हैं? अगर आपको नहीं लगता कि डेमोक्रेसी खतरे में है, तो फिर दिग्विजय जी को क्यों लग रही है? वो क्यों जर्मन के सामने इतने खुश हैं कि उनको थैंक भी कर रहे हैं सिर्फ नोट लेने के लिए?
नो, डेमोक्रेसी खतरे में है, ये एक अलग विषय है। डेमोक्रेसी खत्म हो गई है, ये एक दूसरा विषय है। मैं ऐसा मानता हूं कि भारत के अंदर लोकतंत्र है, जिंदा है, तभी हम बोल रहे हैं। लेकिन लोकतंत्र को ख़त्म करने की कोशिश की जा रही है, ये एक अलग विषय है, इस पे बात की जा सकती है। दूसरा पॉइंट इम्पॉर्टेंट ये है कि जर्मनी के मंत्री ने ये बात उठाई है, तो इसमें राहुल गांधी जी का और कांग्रेस का दोष कहाँ है? राहुल गांधी जी ने कब कहा कि भाई तुम हमारी तारीफ करो या बीजेपी का विरोध करो? आज मान लीजिएगा हम अपने देश में रहते हैं और हम किसी दूसरे देश में की घटनाओं पे बयान दे दें, तो इसमें सवालिया निशान तो जर्मनी पे है। कांग्रेस के पीछे आप लोग क्यों पड़ गए?
कांग्रेस के पीछे नहीं, सिर्फ क्योंकि दिग्विजय जी कांग्रेस के इतने वरिष्ठ नेता हैं और उन्होंने कहा है कि जस्ट बिकॉज जर्मनी ने बोल दिया है तो इससे प्रूव हो गया कि भारत में राहुल गांधी का प्रोसिक्यूशन हो रहा है, इसीलिए ये सवाल कांग्रेस और दिग्विजय जी से पूछा जा रहा है। आई हैव अ सिंपल क्वेश्चन, मनजीत मंडल, you've got a contrast of two people here, one who is saying that Indian democracy is pretty much dead, and the other, the Prime Minister, who is saying that if anything, Indian democracy is in our blood and we are culturally a democratic country. It is not something that has happened in the last 8 years or the last 20 years. Culturally, India is the biggest democracy in the world. Don't you think it is political suicide for the Congress party to keep saying democracy is dead because Germany ne bola hai?
Padmaja, if I can seek your kind indulgence for 30 seconds to read out a letter written by Nobel laureate Sanju, who are my professor's friend in Shantiniketan. That's three lines later. Can it be true that the leader of opposition in India cannot any longer oppose? Can even a minor judicial officer make the task of the highest opposition leaders in the country go away? And the last line, why has democracy come to India now? These are words spoken by Nobel laureate Sanju. The fact remains that the worrying signs are very much there. It doesn't mean that democracy has died in this country. I would like to agree with my good friend Acharya Krishnaji. Democracy is still very much there because the opposition is still fighting on the road, like our leader in Bengal. Look what she was doing for the last 2-3 days. She was trying to fight it out on the streets of Calcutta, and if needed, she said she'll go to Delhi as well. It's because of such leaders we are still fundamentally a democratic country. But yes, signs are very much worrying when a judicial officer is making this kind of task without understanding the consequence of that, or maybe I would say deliberately so. He says in fact inside the court,
it's indeed very troubling when even Congress and TMC leaders are now differing with you and saying democracy is very much there. Despite the best efforts maybe of the BJP, but it is still there.
Respond to the TMC.
We have been saying that democracy is withering away. They are simply agreeing with us with some other words. We are saying that democracy is withering away, and it is important that the central government must change its policies. That's what we are saying. Now, please tell me,
tell me one place where Germany today said that Rahul Gandhi is being persecuted. You are quoting all of these countries and saying the world is looking at us and they are agreeing with you. Tell me one place where Germany or the US has said that Mr. Gandhi is persecuted.
See, the entire world knows what has happened in this entire incident, Padmaja.
Sir, you keep saying generic things like the entire world knows, the entire world sees, the entire world speaks. But you cannot quote to me one instance where anyone has actually said, yes, Indian democracy is dead. Yes, Mr. Gandhi is being persecuted.
Indian democracy is in danger. Indian democracy is in danger.
Says who?
Because
other than the Congress?
Institutions...
Says who?
It is proven on record. I mean, why do you need some authority to certify it?
Sir, just because you keep saying it is proven and it is in danger, doesn't become in danger.
Padmaja, let me present it in front of you. Tell me one thing. The parliament has not been functioning. Last winter session was the 8th consecutive session when the parliament was adjourned prior to its time. Laws are not being passed by the parliament.
Laws actually are being passed by the parliament.
No, there is a greater use of Article 123. Look at the farm laws.
Okay,
look at the
I want to just show you a picture.
In this budget session.
Sanju Verma, quickly respond to this, and I want to actually show you a picture and ask you if this is an example of democracy being in danger or dead. Sanju Verma, respond.
Thank you. Padmaja, I just want to tell the TMC and the Congress that please note that it is the Surat District Court which convicted Rahul Gandhi. बीजेपी ने राहुल गांधी को कन्विक्ट नहीं किया, पॉइंट नंबर 1. पॉइंट नंबर 2, even before Rahul Gandhi was disqualified, there have been 37 disqualifications of MLAs, MPs and MLCs, including 2 ex-chief ministers, लालू प्रसाद यादव एंड जयललिता. जब लालू प्रसाद यादव को डिस्क्वालीफाई किया गया था तब तो डेमोक्रेसी खतरे में नहीं थी. जब जयललिता को डिस्क्वालीफाई किया गया था तब तो डेमोक्रेसी खतरे में नहीं थी. एंड द फर्स्ट पर्सन हु वाज डिस्क्वालीफाइड इन 2013 वाज अ कांग्रेस लीडर रशीद अहमद. So please let me tell you that when Rahul Gandhi goes abroad and says that a large chunk of democracy has come undone in India and the US and European Union need to take cognizance of that, that is called jis thali mein khana usi mein chhed karna. When Rahul Gandhi went to UK in 2022, please now listen, I did not heckle you. I did not heckle you, learn to listen. No, Padmaja, he has to listen, I did not heckle him. Now let me tell you, I will call off your bluff. What Rahul Gandhi said in UK in 2022 is even worse than what he said in Cambridge in 2023. Do you know what Rahul Gandhi said in UK in 2022?
Also
at a public forum, he said the CBI and the ED are chewing up democracy in India, just like the deep state is doing in Pakistan. Rahul Gandhi compared India to Pakistan.
You know,
what can be worse?
The measure of democracy is actually how it affects the life of people, how those who exist in a democracy perceive it. I want you all to listen to this one man, this video of a farmer in Karnataka, and how he reacted when he saw the Prime Minister's picture on the side of a vehicle. Listen.
₹1,000 ಬರ್ತಾಯಿತ್ತು, ₹500 ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿದೀಯಾ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ₹1 ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀಯಾ, ನಿನ್ನ ಮನೆ ಹಸಿರಾಗಿಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀಯಾ, ನಿನ್ನ ಮನೆ ಮುಂದ್ಗಡೆ ತೋಟ ಅದೆ, ನಿನಗೂ ತೋಟ ಅದೆ, ನಿನ್ನ ಆರೋಗ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ 1 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ 5 ಲಕ್ಷ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀಯಾ. ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಹಿಂದಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಲೋಕನ ಹಿಂದಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
And that, Professor Bandal, perhaps is the best measure of democracy.
I mean, then China is a more democratic country than India. Everyone is happy in China. Don't tell me this.
I do not think everyone is happy in China, sir.
Yes.
I do not think people who are in sweatshops would be agreeing with you saying everyone is happy in China.
This kind of pictures, I mean, this is a very, very interesting image, I understand. But China is very happy country in that sense. Democracy is vibrant in China.
Talking absolute gibberish.
And I need to respond to my good friend Sanju ji about prosecution of the case. Please don't fool this country. Who prosecutes? It is your government, the public prosecutor.
Listen,
he should have thrown the case out of the window immediately. Saying that
West Bengal. Nobody knows Mamata Banerjee outside West Bengal. You are a small party. The Kolkata High Court actually castigated Mamata Banerjee for post-poll violence. Anubrata Mandal is in jail. Partha Chatterjee is in jail. Molay Ghatak is in jail. Your top to bottom, top brass of Mamata Banerjee and their close confidants are today cooling their heels behind prison bars.
Okay.
Chup ho jaiye, stop crying.
Okay, sir, if your idea is that China is a country where people are happy, then maybe we have a very different happiness index that you go by. That being said, we will see the best test of democracy in just about a month from now when we have a major election just round the corner. Just in case you don't have the BJP winning that, we wonder what people are going to say about the health of our democracy then. Thanks very much, all Jayan and Sanju Verma, for joining me.